Holy words long preserved for our walk in this world, they resound with God's own art. Oh, let the ancient words impart words of life, words of hope. Give us strength, help us cope in this world where'er we roam. Ancient words will guide us home. Ancient words ever true, changing me and changing you.
Hi, welcome to Verse of the Day. My name is Brandon Hathaway, and I'm the preacher here at the Westside Church of Christ in Owensboro, Kentucky. I want to thank you for joining me today as we open up the Bible and study the Word of God. Today we are in Exodus chapter 26, and I hope that you will follow along. Again, these verses of the day come from a daily Bible reading that I had put out at the beginning of the year for this congregation. And it's just reading one chapter a day, just encouraging people to open up their Bible and study it. And that's why I do this verse of the day also, is to keep that motivation going and just pick out a verse or two or more to talk about as we work our way through those chapters. And so today we're looking at Exodus 26 and verse 30. As you go through Exodus 26, it's a straight talk about part of how the tabernacle was going to be built. A lot about the cloth, about the curtains, and then, of course, the clasp that they had to use and everything, the rods. It's just so much that the details there and the colors and how it was going to be made. And so I come to this verse here in verse 30, when kind of get to the end part of this. It says, "Then you shall erect the tabernacle according to the plan for it that you were shown on the mountain." And so he says, we're going to put all this together, and then you shall make the tabernacle. According to what? According to the plan. According to the plan for that that you were shown. And so he was to use the plan that God had shown him. You know, as often we get caught up and we see stuff and we got a plan and you go along with it, but then you're like, well, let's take a little detour over here and add this, and I don't like that, and we'll take this away and we'll add this. There wasn't room for that in God's plan. God has the perfect plan. And so he designed it, told him how to make it, what to make it out of, how many clasps they had to have, and how long stuff was supposed to be, and that they were all supposed to be even. And so God took care of the design and took care of the instructions. But then we have to be willing to follow. It's the same thing today. Same thing as we look at the Lord's church today and what it's supposed to be like, the name it's supposed to wear, the commandments it's supposed to keep, the commandments it's supposed to stay away, the sin, the fleshly, worldly things that we're supposed to stay away from. God has designed it all. God has put it together. God has instructed us. And then, all right, now make the church as God has designed it, as he has instructed it. Be a Christian as God has designed a Christian to be. Today we want to continuously change it. Well, that's so old and it's out of date, and we feel like we can do it better than God. It's not so. And so it's just something that I was able to think about as I was reading through this, because it's a lot of just detail about that tabernacle, which it's good to go and read again how God has that much detail and instruction on what is to be done. So we'll continue on through Exodus tomorrow and continuing through the month as we look at other instructions on different points of what's going inside the tabernacle. And so if the Lord's willing, I'll talk to you later.